It's been quite the month so far. MMO alphas, MMO betas, and most important, Blue Protocol launched in Japan. We have a lot to talk about, a lot of MMOs to cover, so I urge you to take a seat and set aside about 7 to 8 minutes of your time because STIX is about to take you for a ride in another weekly bite of MMORPG news. Before we go ahead and jump into the video though, I want to take a moment here to thank today's legendary sponsor, Lineage 2 Essence, a free-to-play alternate version of one of the most critically acclaimed MMORPGs ever created, Lineage 2. If you've ever been curious about trying out Lineage 2 Essence or were waiting for new content to drop to return to and consume, this is your chance. Click that link in the description and the pinned comment below and come join in on the fun. You can play as the brand new assassin class, you can participate in new inter-server territory activities, joining forces with other players or working to interfere with them. You can tackle dungeons, engage epic raid bosses, lay siege to your enemies in large-scale castle sieges, get a free help cube which gives you some useful consumables. Your possibilities are endless. Lineage 2 is an MMO that has truly stood the test of time, and Lineage 2 Essence is an extension to that, opening the game up to an even larger audience. Now again, if this sounds like something that might even remotely be of interest to you, I would urge you to go ahead and click that link in the description and the pinned comment below to join the fight for Aiden. Now let's go ahead and jump in. I've been covering BitCraft for the last couple years. Each year, the game inches closer and closer to being in a fully playable state, and with the conclusion of their recent pre-alpha test, it seems as though they're marching towards their first closed alpha at full speed. While they haven't disclosed exactly when that closed alpha will in fact take place, they did confirm that it will feature new server infrastructure, as they had outgrown their old systems and needed additional room to grow. This is always promising to hear, and while I haven't seen any gameplay of the alpha test in question, I am curious to eventually, and hopefully, wink wink, get into the closed alpha or beta test myself. Last year, Fractured Online revealed that they had split from publisher Gamigo after Gamigo decided to shut down the majority of the MMO titles that they published. This meant that Fractured would either need to locate a new publisher or self-publish, which comes with a lot of hurdles itself. As of June 22nd, the studio behind Fractured reopened the servers for Kickstarter backers, but was met with immediate login issues, prompting them to suspend logins entirely for an undisclosed length of time. This comes after they've run several successful test phases in the past. Fractured is definitely struggling now that they've lost Gamigo as a backer, but hopefully they can turn things around before their remaining pool of fans dry up and move on. I've been a fan of Mabinogi for over a decade, and while I'm still rather fond of its graphical style, there's no denying that it could definitely do with an upgrade, which is what the devs confirm is the case, with Mabinogi's game director announcing the Eternity project, confirming that he believes upgrading the game's engine to Unreal Engine 5 is a necessary improvement and will allow for the studio to continue to maintain the game long into the future. A lot of additions and alterations will be made to the game with this conversion, like the ability to go underwater, sail the seas. The only thing missing was a release date, which was purposely overlooked. I'm going to go ahead and cover this in greater detail at some point next week, so I'd be on the lookout for that. Tower of Fantasy has been in a steady state of decline since the month that it released. And despite May being its lowest earning month in its history, that isn't what we're here to discuss. On the contrary, Tower of Fantasy is launching onto the PS4 and the PS5 platforms on August 8th, with some absolutely horrendously priced pre-order packages attached. $100 for a mount, a skin, 10 poles, and a bit of premium currency. Dude, come on. I've covered this on my STIX channel and genuinely cannot fathom the direction that they've opted to take the game. The PlayStation versions will not support cross-platform functionality, nor will they allow for you to transfer over your existing characters or accounts, meaning that you need to start again from scratch. A rumor is going around pertaining to ArenaNet's next planned expansion for Guild Wars 2. End of Dragons just released recently, but ArenaNet confirmed that they have plans on releasing more frequent, but smaller scale expansions moving into the future, and this could be the first of many. Secrets of the Obscure, which is, if I'm being entirely honest here, a pretty vague title, was confirmed via SteamDB, a website that tracks quite a lot of information about Steam titles, Steam DLC, Steam expansions, and the US Trademark Office website. What this title means is completely up for speculation, but it doesn't look like it'll take long before it's in our hands. X Legend have developed some of the greatest anime MMOs in the genre: Grand Fantasia, Eden Eternal, maybe Aura Kingdom, but as of the last decade, they've been on the verge of bankruptcy due to repeated failed attempts at developing an MMO of the same caliber as their previous titles. Tales of Dragon is the studio's latest attempt, an MMO designed for mobile, not PC, so we already know we're off to a bad start. That features us, the player, in an attempt to capture dragons and use them like Pokemon in battle, and that's pretty much the foundation of the game. Everything else is secondary. While there is no confirmed release date, pre-registration is currently open for Android and iOS players if any of you find yourself intrigued by what you've heard. I have a dedicated video coming on this in the next couple days in much greater detail, but Palia, the social MMO announced a couple years back, has confirmed that not only are they releasing this year globally, but they're also releasing onto the Nintendo Switch as well this holiday season. I wasn't even aware that the game was out of alpha testing yet, which admittedly it is not on PC, as they plan on holding a large-scale alpha test this year in July, but they're almost finished with the Switch version, with work on the PC version taking a backseat in the meantime, which strikes me as a little bit weird given the development started on the PC version first. Pre-registration is open for the PC alpha test though, for those of you that are interested. Undawn is Tencent's newest MMO, advertised as being a post-apocalyptic shooter starring Will Smith. The game launched last week and was met with a lot of criticism, much of which MRSSTIX will go over in her dedicated video at some point next week, but for those of you looking for something completely new to play, you'll probably want to avoid this, but at the very least, if you want to try this out, you'll probably get a laugh out of it. It's probably the most random MMO I've ever seen. Bandai Namco launched Blue Protocol in Japan over a week and a half ago, and many players accessed the game from outside of its supported region, playing for several days, having immense amounts of fun, myself included. But after 3 days of playing and a number of issues with the launch, it seems as though Bandai refocused their efforts into locating, processing, and subsequently banning all foreign players from the game. This makes sense, and I went over it in a dedicated video yesterday. It's sad, but it does make sense. However, what was more interesting to me was the fact that Amazon revealed they would be delaying Blue Protocol into 2024 for the West, yet Kayentech confirmed it would be releasing in several Asian countries, and Smilegate confirmed it would be releasing in Korea, both in summer 2023. Amazon, being the small indie company that they are, can't localize or publish the game at the same rate as much smaller studios for some reason, and that delay is going to severely hurt the game's potential success. Nevertheless, I've had an enormous amount of fun playing and can't wait to play the Asian servers myself while waiting for the global incarnation of the game sometime next year. And that's it. That is all of the MMO related news that mattered to me today. If you think I missed something, please let me know down in the comments below and I'll make sure to go ahead and take a look. Until then, I got you covered with 2 different videos you definitely need to check out on screen right now. Also, don't forget to check out Lineage to Essence if you're interested.